Hello and welcome back to my orchid life. I know these are not orchids, but to me African violets are the orchids of the plant world. They're very similar to an orchid in the fact that they stay green most of the time, and when they flower they have gorgeous flowers and prolific, like the Phalaenopsis. They do stay in bloom quite a while. So what we're going to do today is we are going to propagate my Lacy White that just opened her beautiful white bloom again. I have not seen these in quite some time. And then we are going to propagate my purple one that is now a lilac purple, deep lilac purple. She can bloom a light purple, a dark purple. It's just a surprise every time, sort of like a box of chocolates. And then I'm going to propagate one of my minis that I'm not sure if it's the white one with the pink tinge or if it's the pink one. I'm just going to propagate one of the minis. And just as a FYI, for those of you who grow African violets, I always wait until the leaf gets like this before I pull it off. And if you wait, if you just pull on it, it'll come right off. And I think on Sundays we will do a plant video, a house plant video instead of an orchid video. Haven't quite made my mind up. If that's something that you're interested in seeing, leave it in the comments down below and we'll take a vote on it. I would do a community post, however, I don't have enough subscribers to do that. And speaking of subscribing, I do appreciate everyone who has subscribed. Thank you, Nina from Ninja's Orchids, for pointing out that I now have 200 plus subscribers. You congratulated me on that, and I was like, what is she talking about? And I happened to notice I have 200 subscribers. I appreciate it. Thank you, guys. So I do have 3 little nursery pots, I guess is what they're called. I never throw these away because you never know when you're going to need them. So I've got this little itty bitty one for the mini, and I've got moss at the bottom to keep the soil from dropping out of the bottom. And then I've got this one for either the white one or the purple one, and then we've got this black one. And I got 2 different colors so I can differentiate just in case I forget. I will try to label them, but sometimes I'm not real good with that. But what I do is I just take a little bit of moss and I just put enough in there to cover up the holes. This way, like I said, the soil doesn't come out of the bottom, and then I've got some trays to sit them on. So what I do, so everyone has a different way of propagating the leaves. I'm going to use soil, and speaking of which, I left my soil over there, so I'll be right back. So I used to do propagate in water, wait for the roots, and then I would transfer them into soil, and then wait for the new pups, new violets. I don't know what African violet babies are called. Babies, there we go, we'll use babies. Wait for them to mature enough to separate. This go around though, I'm going to try to go directly into the soil, and if you're going to do that, you have to make sure that you keep the soil moist, not soaked. So you want to keep it moist to encourage root growth. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking my Fiskars, and a lot of people will take an older leaf. I like to take one of the newer leaves, not one of the newest, but on this one here, for instance, this leaf right here is fairly new, as is this one here, and as is this one. So I always like to take one that has a lot of leaf surface on it so that it can photosynthesize and support itself while it's developing a root. So all I do, turn it around here, and we're going to use this one here since it's on the outside. All I do is I just take my Fiskars and I just cut at an angle. You can see it's kind of, let me see if I can, because there is kind of a glare. I just kind of cut it at an angle. And let's go ahead and pick one of these. Pick this one right here without cutting any of the blooms. So you know what? See, I almost messed up. I almost mixed them up again. Let me do this so I know which is which, because otherwise I'll get them mixed up. And then let's take one of the little ones. I'll take this leaf right here because it's one of the newer ones. And the reason I like to take one of the newer ones is because I don't know, it just seems to encourage it to grow and root faster than the older ones. No specific reason other than that. If you're not going to pot them right away, if you're going to do them in water, you want to let this dry out at least 2 to 3 hours until it's calloused over, But because I'm putting this into soil, I'm just going to put them in the soil. I'm not going to let them dry out because I'm not going to water the soil until later on and make sure that this is good and dry. So I've got my little spoon and we're just going to put it in loose. And this is just regular potting soil, perlite, and there's some small bark chips in here for the aeration. I just, again, just like I do with the orchids, I like to pat the side of the pot to get it to go in there. And because the soil is going to settle a little bit when I water it, I do kind of put a lot in almost to the top at the beginning, because once it settles, it will go down just a little bit. And then I just take my violet leaf and I just put it straight down in the middle. And then once it's in there, you can take your hand. I don't like getting my hands dirty. I'm bougie like that. And you can just pat down around the edge. And if you need to, you can use a stake to hold it. I like to have them upright just so that they can get the full light. So let me do the other two real quick. And this is just gonna be a little quick video, nothing serious. And generally it takes about a month to 2 months to see the roots when you do it in water, at least in my experience and my environment, because I do have it in my living room. So some may have a faster response. I know there are some people that will put them on heat mats to help encourage root growth. I don't have heat mats, I don't use them. I'm thinking of using them this winter though on some of my orchids. And I said in a few videos ago that I was thinking I'm not gonna be doing a lot of houseplant buying. Of course, if I see one that really speaks to me, we all know what that is. You go in the store and you see a plant that's like, take me home, and you're like, okay, I will. Other than that, I'm not gonna go look for houseplants. Let's put it that way. The ones that I have, I'm just gonna keep. I'm gonna focus on my orchids. But like I said, I'm thinking of doing a plant video on Sundays to kind of start the week, because I do know that some of my subscribers grow houseplants as well, not just orchids. And again, if that is something that you're interested in and you want me to continue doing on Sunday, leave it in the comments down below. We have our purple leaf, we have our white leaf, and this is another reason why I got the different colored pots. And the reason I put the white one in the black pot is because usually if in a game, if they say, what's the opposite of black? People say white. What's the opposite of white? Black. So that's why I put that one in there. And then I put the mini one in the smallest, so I know it's the mini. And we will check back on these guys. I guess I could put the mini in the front because you can't really see it in the back. We will check on these guys. Let's give them a couple of months until they start doing something. You know what? If you propagate African violets, leave in the comments down below how you do it. If you start off in water and then in soil, or do you go straight into soil? And if you do go straight into soil, do you let your leaf tip or the stem dry out before you put it in the soil so you can water it right away? Do you use the heat mats to encourage root growth? Do you put them under special lighting? Like, what is your process in that? All right, well now with that said, I hope you guys have a wonderful day. And again, thank you to all of those who have subscribed. Go ahead and give this video a like if you got some value out of it. And if you'd like to subscribe and see plant videos on Sundays and orchid videos for the rest of the week,